What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mongols. This is our reaction show. We're going to break down everything that we saw as the Hounds brought home a massive 3 points from the West Coast late last night. I am Mike Sparks. Joining me is Steve Mattias and Josh Brokaw. Gentlemen, it's been, I feel like anytime I miss even 1 week, it's been like months since I've talked to you guys. I listened to the show last week. Very good show. Steve, what's going on?
Not much. Thanks for being back. It's fun.
I have a choice, Steve.
To lead, but it's so much more work. Trying to keep track of everything. Great to have you back, Mike. Great weekend. Two different friends I got to see this weekend with campfires, or at two different friends' houses. One of them was a few of us, and the other one was just my best friend for my doctorate program, and catching up with him last night. So. Sitting around campfires quite a bit this weekend, which was great. And then got to get home and turn on the game and then watch the rest of the game, the first part of the game this morning. So
yeah, we're in like peak fall. We went for a drive this morning. My middle son has his driver's permit. So we were like, we need to get some hours because of soccer season, and just driving all over the Laurel Highlands. It was like, holy crap. This is like out of a
your oldest son got his permit.
Trust me. It's like gone. So yeah. Josh, what you been up to, man?
Good. Also had a fun weekend. Went out with friends on Friday to Gaijin. It's a sushi place downtown Pittsburgh. It's really cool. It's like one of those places where if you don't get reservations, you're never getting in. So like my friend loves it, and so does his wife. So they always get reservations like a month in advance, and like they just have one rolling constantly. One of their friends backed out, so I was a bench hitter for Jijin, so I got to come in, and the place is expensive but always great. So,
are you a big fan of sushi?
Yeah, I love sushi. It's especially like I don't get a chance to like have it a lot, and so it's a special occasion type thing. I would definitely not go there monthly, but I would go there again in a couple of months.
Yeah. I don't know if we had this conversation. I really, really wish that I liked seafood, but there's something about seafood that I just don't like. And so I've kind of avoided sushi for most of my life because I'm like, I just won't like it. When I was in Chicago for work, we went to a place that had like really high-end sushi, and I was like, I'll try anything once, and like blew my mind. So like, I think I've just been having like crappy seafood all this time, and maybe I just need to like up my game and stop buying it from,
Long John Silver's
or wherever. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So what I'm hearing is we're going to record an episode in the off season at Gaijin.
That would be cool. Yeah, we can give it a try. We'll get to the sponsor of the show. Listen, I hear that podcasts are like all the rage now, and so like money's just flowing. Yeah, I know.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, whatever. Guys, we got our first game. We basically made it to the second last game of the season to get our first game with 3 goals that we've scored in it. Victory beverage time. Oh, I'm really worried. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I told the guys off air I'm drinking a can of sparkling water, but the top of it's completely dented, so I didn't know if when I opened it, if it was just going to explode all over me. Thankfully, it did not, but it did not open right away.
Would have been a better podcast if it did, but okay, it's fine. I'm glad it didn't explode.
Cheers, gentlemen, to 3 goals. Yeah,
3 goals.
So can we just pause, Josh?
What?
Like, you put it up there, but I want to see like a good picture.
How old is that?
It has to be at least 5 years. Like I can't remember when we did these.
Yeah,
but basically,
I think it might be older than that. I think that might be pre me on the show.
Yeah, it's a metal koozie that says Victory Beverage on it with the Mongols logo on it. Yeah. And I cannot remember when we did these, but I think we just had a shop up for like a year where you could get like custom things. And I believe you didn't even put like a limit on what you could get. You're just like, hey, here's the logo. Here's, the design, put it on anything. So like I got a coffee cup with this on it. I have a koozie with it on it.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe we'll bring that back at some point. I don't think I have anything that says Victory Beverage on it. I feel like I should.
Do it.
Yeah, we'll see. So, guys, let's talk about this. We got goals from whom? Suber, Augie, and Walty in this one. 3-0 shutout, massive game. We're going to get to all the repercussions of, we're now currently in 4th place, which just a few weeks ago, if we would have said, oh yeah, we're going to be in pole position to have a home playoff spot, I would have been like, you're crazy. I don't think we're going to even make the playoffs, but here we are. Before we get into how everything else shakes out as it relates to standings and what needs to happen and all of those things, let's talk a little bit about this game. Steve, give me a takeaway from this one.
Oh man, fun. Like, this game was fun to watch. Everything from how open they were playing, how much more attacking they were. Augie had a few chances. A number of other players had a few chances. All had a great attempt. But I think my favorite thing about it is you could see how much fun they were having after the goals. And I absolutely loved it that Robbie's reaction after Augie's goal was not to run to Augie. It was to turn around with a huge smile on his face and point at Jackson Walty, who made the tackle to win the ball and then the line breaking pass to Augie.
Played that sick pass.
Yeah. And just like
Perfect
to
pass.
see that. Right. Like, and then the other moment for me that really stuck out was at the end of the game, right after the whistle, camera pans to Rob Vincent walking over to Monterey's coach, and he's got a big smile on his face, and Dan Visser is right behind him with a big smile on his face. And you could just see that there is fun for these guys in that moment. And it was great.
This kind of segues into, I think, a bigger topic that's been on my mind. I did not get a chance to watch last week's game, but I did listen to the show. I listened to you guys talk about it. And you talked about how you could tell by kind of looking at the players that something was different. By that point, obviously, for those who don't know, Bob Lilly was put on administrative leave, I think Friday, and then they ended up playing on Saturday. And so there wasn't a ton of turnaround time. This week, now, we don't know. We have no inside information. Bob could have been leading practice all week. Bob could have picked the lineup, and then Rob is there coaching on the sidelines. We have no idea. But, Josh, compared to what you saw last week and this week, is this kind of the same team? Is it kind of a progression in terms of what you saw? Did it still feel different from what we had seen all season? Like, how do you feel, with sort of Rob there, and do you think it's Rob there? Just what's your temperature on things?
I don't think the tactics are completely outlandishly different than they were compared to when Bob was here. So I don't think you can look at this and be like, this is totally Rob's type of formation. This is Vincent's formation. I feel like the playbook is there. They're doing the playbook. But I definitely agree with Steve that the players feel lighter and like more like they're, I don't know, just out there having fun. And obviously when you're winning, it's easy to have fun. Like, if they would have gone down a goal, maybe we would have seen, this team same old, and kind of feel like they were just pointing fingers at each other and stuff like that. But it didn't feel like that. This is exactly the type of feel and like look I expected when we played, when the Hounds played Miami. Like, I thought this is what it was going to be like. And like, it was, not like that at all. So it's hard telling it, how much DNA is, being like, how much is different about this team compared to when Bob would have been coaching it? Like, it does Walty come in when he comes in? I definitely don't think Walty plays the way he plays. Like, we have not seen this Walty since the beginning of the season. Like, this felt completely different. And, it was a breath of fresh air to see him play the way he did. Because this is, remember, we had him as like top of our, point system for a good 1/3 of the season.
Yeah.
The very beginning.
Yeah. Steve, when you think about the situation that Rob Vincent is in, let's just speculate. Let's say that he ran practice all week. You're coming in, you're coaching a team, you're not getting a bunch of new players, so you're kind of forced into a system. I kind of think that the two biggest areas that you can have an impact are kind of temperament, kind of like how you deal with the players, and substitutions. And I know that we've been critical of substitutions in the past. This is a case where Walty gets subbed in and he picks up an assist and a goal. So whether or not that is just a function of right player, right time, what are your read on like the temperament and the substitution piece of things?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the temperament is different. And I think part of that is, yeah, I think Josh is 100% right that the tactics and whatnot are very similar. But going back and looking at some of the previous matches this season and just looking where some of the heat maps were for some of these players, some of the touches that they had, it looked like some of these players were playing positions that they were more comfortable within. I'll point out Augie Williams, that Augie was in the box a lot and getting a lot of touches in the box. And then Jackson Walty is the other one that I noticed that oftentimes we see him a few touches in the attacking third, but the majority of his touches are in the defensive third. And sure, he was only in for 21 minutes, but his touch map was all in the middle third and attacking third. And so I think there is a little bit of difference in the way that they are playing and the way that they're being utilized, despite the shape and formation being pretty similar. And so I think that's a big part of it, is that the players have a little bit of freedom that they're not asked to constantly to be defending no matter what, right? They're still defending well. And I want to give Monterey Bay some credit. You can see that they have some dangerous pieces and they can do some things. I mean, they had a few opportunities that could have easily been goals. And so I look at that. I also see that it just seemed like the players were relaxed. They didn't seem that they were walking on eggshells to start the game. They came out, and I think that fun aspect, sure, coming off of a win last week, but I think that adds a lot to the temperament. And then you do some of those substitutions, and quite frankly, I don't know, like you're still hemmed in by the roster that you have. And so a lot of those substitutions feel like for like to me. So not necessarily, I wasn't expecting a player to come in and do what Jackson did. Fortunately, he had a great 21 minutes, and that changed the game significantly for me, because being 1-0 up, Monterey showing some danger, him finding that ball to Augie was just sublime, and that really changed, I think, the next 20 minutes.
Like you said, he only played 20 plus minutes, but the Hounds, it was enough for the Hounds to name him their man of the match. So, and it's hard to, I guess, argue with that when you get an assist and a goal.
Spoilers. We'll talk about that.
Josh, give me another takeaway.
I just want to do a fun one real fast. Shout out to Biasi for kicking the ball right in Monterey Bay's keeper's face, point blank. I mean, I'm not saying he should have done that. He was going for goal. You know, it happens. But that was really funny. Just watching it, I was like, that looked like it hurt really bad. I can't believe you were just like still the game afterwards. Like, oh, I just got hit in the face, literally point blank. I was like, dang. Yeah. And interviews are not funny. I'm sorry, but it was
my initial reaction was, come on, Luke, do a little better. And then I'm like, no, this is great. Like, he didn't have the space and he ripped one and it goes off the face.
I mean, look, whenever you're coaching, that's kind of what you do, right? It's like if there's little chance, but that's all you got left, you rip it and hope that it takes a deflection or something. It just did take a deflection just right off the dude's face. So
and a shout out for the keeper that like put his body in know the way, like a lot of people, that's why I always think keepers are insane. It's like, so when I get this straight, the ball is coming at you super fast, you're just gonna be like, no, I'm gonna dive in front of that. It's like, all right, sure.
Yeah, agreed. Steve, what else?
I mean, I think that this was great. Like so Mike, I'll bring it up again. Fortunately, you're able to talk about it this time, but this is another Hounds win 2 weeks in a row with possession on their side. But I think we would all agree that not only that the Hounds had 58% possession, they still scored 3 goals, and that is that adds to the difference in the feel for me in terms of how the team is playing with Vincent calling the shots the past 2 weeks. And I like it. It's free. It's fun. It's flowing.
If you would have told me that the Hounds had 58% possession, I would have assumed that we either drew or lost, not because I'm cynical, but because my thought would have been that the reason why we had the most possession was because we were passing it around the defense and we couldn't break down the team. This is the opposite. We had possession and we were using it effectively, which, to your point, this is not something we've seen in like the past 8 years. So like this is a new thing. And again, how much we can attribute this to Vincent or not, it's hard to say. It's sort of short notice. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, but it's a positive sign. So,
but I think you have to look at the evidence in front of you that Rob is calling the shots on the sideline during the game. You're seeing something different. You have to give him credit for that, right? That if this was something that the team was capable of doing under Bob's expectations, why did it take until Bob was not on the sidelines for us to see this? And I think you're right. Like I think Justin talked about it a little bit last week, right? That we had the possession, but we had the possession going forward. We had the possession with passes that were advancing play, not those passes just pinging around the back line and building and resetting constantly. I mean, even on the Suber goal, I mean, that came off of a corner kick where Vactor and Subert never got back to defense because the ball got put back close to the half field line and then put right back into play in the attacking third twice before Augie got the ball, got it to Griffin, and the goal developed.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So I know it's only 2 weeks, and I know that we've seen an actual change in this team. But based on that change, Josh, I know we always talk about how the team is kind of one and out in the playoffs. Is this giving you any confidence to think that maybe we won't be one and out in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And the fact that we are now not looking like we're going to be playing against, knock on wood, number one or number two in these playoffs, it makes me have a lot more confidence and not so pessimistic about this. I think the worst we can do, I want to say, is sixth place.
Yeah.
So yeah, sixth place. We're playing right now Hartford in sixth place. So that makes me feel a lot better than having to play Charleston or Louisville. So I'm at least looking at that first game saying like there's a huge chance we win that first game, and then after that, who knows what happens, and it is the playoffs, but I do feel more confident with the team getting hot right now, obviously, than I would be if we barely limped into the playoffs or had to, be in 7th or 8th place in the playoffs.
Yeah. It still blows my mind that this is where we're at after the season that we've had and how depressing it's been. And like, and I don't know how much of that is a testament to the team, how much of that is a testament to just the rest of the Eastern Conference being kind of a hot mess.
I mean, there should be, not too much emphasis on the fact that everything fell in place. Like, it wasn't just that Hounds were doing good, like have done good. Hounds won these last 2 games, but like all the other results have gone the Hounds' way. Like if stars did not align the way they aligned, we would not be in 4th place right now because we've just gotten really lucky about who has lost versus who has won the games.
Yeah. I mean, and this weekend is a prime example of that the results went completely in the Hounds' favor.
I would argue 2 weeks in a row that results went in our favor.
Sure. But I mean, Hartford losing, Loudoun losing, and North Carolina drawing to Rhode Island, right? Yeah. Which is just good all around because those 5 teams or those 4 teams in the Hounds, right? Like that, those 5 positions now are really, really kind of settled in terms of what that means for the Hounds.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
We've waded into this, and that's fine.
I wanted to talk about it so much.
I know. This is all we want to talk about.
Geeking out on it all night.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else we want to mention about this game?
Tons. I mean, I think Super getting another goal. Super 2 weeks in a row with goals is fantastic. Not scoring all season, which you expect from defense. Right. But the fact that he's gotten 2 goals in a row, it's just a lot of fun. And just, I'm sure he's having a blast right now, which he should be. It's awesome.
Augie scoring from run of play.
Love
again,
to
is
see it.
always positive. Yep. And it was a
Yep.
great sort of, did he even take a touch or did he just let that ball roll into his path and then he shot it? I can't remember.
I'm gonna have to rewatch replay because I watched it right before this, but I can't remember if he did take a touch.
Yeah. But yeah, great from Augie. And then, like we said, Jackson playing further up the field. And
Yeah.
I think anytime that you kind of have a midfielder like Jackson, who is a holding midfielder that can stay further up the field, then that again means that we're just putting pressure on them to keep the ball in their half and good things are going to happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Thrilled. Anything else?
I want to say, I mean, Josh brought up Luke Biasi, but
Yeah.
For me, we can talk about all of the goals. We can talk about everything else. Luke Biasi had an excellent game that it was great to see him doing some things in the attack. But if you were only paying attention to that, you missed out on how strong he was defensively, that he had that guy in his pocket, that whoever the Monterey Bay player was that was coming down his flank, he nullified him the entire night. And it was beautiful.
Is Biasi, is that your way of signaling that Biasi's in your top 3?
I don't know who's in my top 3. I haven't made decisions.
Well, first off, Augie did take one touch from the Walty pass before the goal, but it was still beautiful.
Still won it.
Yeah, exactly. And what else was I was going to say? I can't remember. That's it.
Are we ready to do top 3?
I want to give Eric Dick a shout out. I mean, he only had 2 saves, but he played big. There were a couple other shots that I think he would have had to make saves on if they were on target, and he was there to make those plays. I mean, that first threatening attempt by Monterey that went wide and curled away from him outside of the post. I mean, his awareness, his dive for that ball was excellent. You could see he looks like he's back to what we've come to expect from him last season and early this season. And so whatever was going on those few games where he wasn't as strong and when Randolph was playing it, last night made me feel like Eric Dick is back.
Yeah, agreed. On that shot, he had that post covered too. Like you kind of see, yes, it curled wide, but he was there. So sorry, Josh, were you going to say something?
Yellow cards in this game for the Hounds. Did either one of them feel like yellows to you? After getting yelled in the first 5 minutes, I feel like he was just a sacrificial lamb. Like it was just kind of like setting the tone, being like, no, nothing's going to go, like this. So the ref was just setting the tone for the rest of the game. And he just kind of, I don't think that would have been a yellow normally, especially 5 minutes into the game.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And then Augie's yellow was like pretty weak. And then I think it might've been, I can't remember who touched the other player. Like, he looked like he actually had the foul, and Augie kind of just got the card anyway, but barely touched him. Whatever.
Yeah. It made me think in high school, there was a time when we were playing somebody and a defender on our team took down a player, and then there was like a scuffle and the ref couldn't see who took down the player. So he literally was like, I don't know who did it, but I'm issuing a phantom yellow. And we're like, what? Like, that's not a thing. And so that kind of felt like it was just like I missed it, but here we are. So
gotcha. So just overall though, I did think the ref did pretty good in this game. So no complaints there.
Oh no, I dropped my pen and I need my pen in order. Okay, never mind, I have a spare. Top 3. I was gonna drop out of frame to pick it up, but anyway, top 3. Steve, because you said you don't know, I'm gonna pick on you, so you can give me one.
I mean, then I'm going to take the really, really easy one. In 21 minutes of Jackson Walty was the most beautiful 21 minutes of a player this season.
All right.
Sorry, so Josh. I know you wanted it.
No, that's fine.
Walty's off the board.
I do think he deserves the 3. I'll even go that far.
Agreed.
Getting an assist and a goal in 21 minutes, just lighting up the field like that. Yeah, he earned it this week.
Josh, who else are we putting on there? Yeah,
I mean, I'm also going to agree with Steve about Biasi. I think that's really cool that he played so well, and he just had a good game. So,
agreed. I'll say Suber. You get a shutout, you get a goal, a second time. But now here's the question: is it Suber at 2 or Biasi at 2?
Wait. We're not even considering Robbie Mertz and Augie Williams and Danny Griffin in this game.
We can. You picked first and said Walty, so
Because it's the most obvious one.
I know.
I mean, I definitely can see an argument for any of those. Augie, I think, obviously he had that goal. But I think the most impressive part about that goal was the pass from Walty. Like, he was wide open and one-on-one with the keeper. If he would have missed, we would have all been pretty angry at that. But the fact that he was able to slide it away, that's great. But when you're one-on-one with the keeper and you're a striker, I expect you to make that. So
yeah, I just want to give him credit. I don't think Suber's goal comes about without his really aware play. If he tries to cross that ball, the other players are not in position yet, and he realizes Griffin is there, pops the ball out to Griffin for a much better cross, and Vactor and Suber make the contact. I say all that just to say I want to recognize the effort of those guys. I think we've got our top three, and it's a good top three.
You're just doing devil's advocate. You want to make sure,
I want to give them mentions, honorable mentions.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's fair. But that still doesn't answer the question. Is it Biasi at 2 or Suber at 2?
I think Biasi did more throughout this game than Suber did, even though Suber got the goal.
So Biasi at 2, Suber at 2, or Suber at 3.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we think. Walty gets 3 points.
And I want to say,
2,
like
Suber 1.
for Biasi, he made Suber's job easier on defense. He made all of the defenders' jobs easier on defense, and so they didn't have as much to do because Biasi was so good.
Man, has this changed anything?
No, but the top of the board is going to be really close. I mean, so Mertz is currently sitting on 27 points. He's going to win, but behind Mertz, we will now have Walty with 17. Suber will have 17. Griffin is on 18. And Biasi will be on 15. So really, this last game could be pivotal to see who comes in second and third in terms of our yearly ranking.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I was not thinking that it would be that close, but yeah, that's interesting. Okay, cool. So I guess stay tuned. Guys, let's talk about the repercussions of this. I'm going to put the table up while we talk through this briefly. So what's interesting, and Steve, you said, you've kind of been digging into this a ton. The way that this shakes out, now we are currently in 4th place on 43 points. The 2 teams directly beneath us are Loudoun and North Carolina, and they're both on 42 points. So they're only 1 point behind us. So you would think, okay, 1 point, we're in a very precarious position. What makes this super interesting is that Loudoun and North Carolina play each other next weekend in the last game of the season. So that means that either both teams are going to pick up 1 point, or one of those teams is going to pick up 3. Those are the only 2 scenarios. Now, how does that shake out for us? What does that actually mean in terms of us being able to retain 4th place? Well, hold on. I actually wrote these out so I can actually speak about it coherently. If we lose against Phoenix, which we're going to talk about Phoenix here in a minute, if we lose against Phoenix, regardless of what happens, we will drop to at least 5th, because if North Carolina and Loudoun draw, then we're going to be on the same number of points as North Carolina, and we lose that tiebreaker. So if we lose, we're just out of it. So we have to either draw or win. Mm-hmm. If we draw, we will stay in 4th if North Carolina and Loudoun draw. Otherwise, one of them will leap us. So if we get a draw this weekend, there's still a chance we stay in 4th as long as that game ends in a draw. If we win, we keep 4th regardless. And if we win, there's a chance that we could jump to 3rd, considering that Hartford, who are directly above us and only have 1 more point than we do, they play Louisville this weekend. So there's a really good chance that Hartford don't pick up any points at all. And so if we win this weekend, we could literally be in 3rd place playing, the likes of, who knows, Loudoun, North Carolina, Rhode Island at home. Well, no, it's not really good. There's no way Rhode Island would catch.
Nope.
Yeah, so it's either going to be Hartford, it's either going to be Loudoun or North Carolina that we would see if we jump to 3rd at home. Yeah.
Or stay in 4th.
Right. So thoughts on that, gentlemen? Steve.
Oh, I find it fascinating because there's just so many things that that can happen in this final week. That the only possibility for us to play Hartford is to go away to Hartford if we slip to 5th and they slip to 4th. Otherwise, we're playing Loudoun or North Carolina. And I got to feel good about those matchups. That Loudoun is a team that we have consistently gotten the better of. And I think that we know that. We've got enough players that have done that kind of have that chip on their shoulder, that they don't want to continue to allow Loudoun to get an upper hand. And normally I'd be much more reticent to want to face North Carolina. But North Carolina is in rough shape. I mean, they're granted, I mean, both those teams have only picked up 5 points out of their past 5 games. But the way that has happened for North Carolina, I think, is much more troubling because they have been decimated by injuries. That this is not a North Carolina team that I think has the ability to do game-changing substitutions like we've seen in the past. And so I really like either of those matchups at home. And it's just kind of fun that, like, as stressful as this season has been, that the one thing that if Bob Lilly is never the coach of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds again, props to Bob Lilly for instilling defense on this team, because that's why the Hounds are in this position, because they've done enough to not give up goals and have a defensive structure that allows them to go out and get some of these recent wins and points and do some things that I mean, yeah, like now that we're scoring some goals, that defense is really important. And so I'm thrilled to see the Hounds in this position, because I'm thrilled to see the guys be able to have this opportunity.
Yeah. Josh, we just talked through the scenarios where if we lose, we're going to drop out of 4th place and lose that home field advantage this weekend. But if we draw or we win, we have a pretty good shot of keeping home field. Realistically, where do you see this team landing, and who would you like to see us play in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, well, first off, I do want to also bring in one other wrinkle, not really a wrinkle, but kind of fun little fact, is Loudoun in North Carolina play at 5, not at 7. So we're going to kind of know what's going on before our game. So that's also, keep that in mind. Check those scores before this game starts, because it's going to be important to know what happened against Loudoun in North Carolina. So yeah, that's one thing. But going back to your question, I think we're going to get a home field game in the playoffs. I just don't know. I feel like a win is not, impossible. In fact, it's likely, and which means that it's very possible that we are in 3rd place by the end of the season. And that is just mind-blowingly wild to me that we could be in 3rd place.
I mean, how many games ago was it that we were talking about, like, dancing around the playoff line?
Yeah.
Oh, I was predicting 7th or 8th. Like, I was thinking, like, we're going to be in the playoffs, but we're barely going to squeak in. Yeah. We're probably going to go out the first round because we're going to play Louisville or Charleston. It's not going to be fun. And I was not looking forward to the postseason at all. But now the fact that we, 1, could be at home, which is amazing, and 2, we're not going to be facing Louisville or Charleston. It makes me so much more excited for the playoffs than I was even 2 weeks or last week, probably even. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so who do I want us to play? That's really tough. I think I would rather play. I think North Carolina would be an easier game, but I would rather play Loudoun just because I think that is a more fun game.
Yeah.
And there is this like kind of like rivalry thing going on with Loudoun where it feels like almost like little brother and like,
so patronizing. I love it.
But that does also make it like almost like one of those trap game type feels where it's like, oh crap, like we could get beat up by our little brother and it feel, like really bad. So there's more on the line when it comes to Loudoun. If we do play them, which is always more fun. The storyline is better with Loudoun than it is with North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I mean, first, we've got to get past Phoenix, which Phoenix comes to town this weekend, Highmark Stadium. What's interesting is that Phoenix have not yet locked up a playoff spot. They're sitting. If you look at the Western Conference table, they're sitting comfortably above the line, but there are so many potential teams that could still make it that they haven't locked it down, to the point that if Phoenix comes in and wins, they could even jump as high as fourth in the West and lock down a home playoff spot. So this is not like Phoenix is going to come in and just roll over. They have a ton to play for. And so what will be very interesting to me is there's a number of storylines here, right? One is, can the Hounds continue sort of this hot streak that we're on and keep picking up points? The whole Loudoun, North Carolina thing, if we know going into this game that all we need is a draw, does that impact how things are done on the sideline? Maybe in terms of the decisions that you make. How things shake out with the West and Phoenix, how hard are they going to come out, and how do the Hounds respond to that? Do you sit back and absorb pressure, or do you try to take it to them and score early? It's just the dynamics are. Is Bob going to be back, or is it going to be Rob for a whole nother week? What does that mean in terms of the dynamics with the Hounds and the locker room? And there's so much going on this week that it's really just, it's crazy. Like, you kind of just have to buckle up and take it day by day and see what happens. Steve, how are you feeling about this one?
So I think that the Hounds need to be ready to play and play a hard game. But like you said, Phoenix is, what are they, sitting in sixth right now? Is that what it is? Fifth. On 39 points. Lexington is outside of the playoff picture on the tiebreaker at 36 points. So in the West, fifth through ninth is 3 points away. I haven't gone and looked at all like the interactions of that and what that looks like, but I'm assuming the USL has, and that means that there is a scenario where, regardless of that there's no scenario that Phoenix is already going to get in because of those interactions, right? That if they don't win this game and everybody else wins their games, they drop to a tiebreaker. Out, and that's interesting, right? But the reality is that a lot of those other teams are going to be playing West Coast teams. So Phoenix needs to come out. They need to do what they need to do with, right? Like, we'll have the knowledge of North Carolina and Loudoun. Phoenix is setting the knowledge for the Western Conference, right? When they play us. And so they're going to come out looking for 3 points. They need those 3 points to put themselves in the best possible position. And there's a scenario where they can still get fourth place. And so what does that look like for them that they could be playing at home? So I don't think they're going to be content for a draw. And so it comes down to, do I feel differently about what I've seen from the Hounds in the past few weeks than I have most of the season? And if everything is the same next week as it's been the past couple weeks, then I feel really good about it, that a team that is sitting in fifth place in the West on 39 points compared to our 42, 43, what do we have? 42, 43, whatever it is, 43. That if you had asked me that a month and a half ago, I would have been so nervous. You asked me that if we go in like we did the past 2 weeks, we go in and we win that game. And I feel confident that the Hounds have the ability to do that and do it well.
Josh, you agree?
Yeah. Also think that the Hounds would not be playing for a draw. I feel like, one, momentum's a big deal. You have to get those 3 points to keep that momentum going to the playoffs. And I think they know that. Two, even if, the results kind of shake out where we're good with where we're at, we're not going to change our position. I still think it's worth it to go out there and get that win. And you're right, though, because Phoenix is playing for so much right now. I was trying to see if they would have any information, because there are some weekday games coming up. We're recording this on Sunday. Birmingham and Miami play. That game means nothing. They're both eliminated. Who cares? New Mexico and Oakland play again. New Mexico is definitely in, and Oakland is looking from the outside, and they can't really get in. So I'm not that game doesn't matter as much as either.
And Phoenix can't catch New Mexico.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those are going to affect it. And then we have like a Wednesday game, Charleston, who cares, Sacramento, Republic, okay. But yeah, so there's not really much games before Phoenix that's going to change much for them. So yeah, this is a big deal. I wish we talked about this in our the Steel Army Discord a little bit, but I wish all the games happened on Saturday at the same time. Like that'd be so much more fun for like decision day type feel. So it kind of sucks that these results are gonna be trickling in throughout the week, and then some teams play at 5, some play at 7, some play at 10. I get West Coast playing at 10 because it is, West Coast, but at least the East Coast. All the games in the last game or last week should be East Coast teams playing East Coast teams, West Coast teams playing West Coast teams, and there should be 2 time brackets just to make it more fun to watch. But
agreed.
Maybe next season we'll see as the league becomes more and more developed and everything.
So we can I can give you the teams that they're in competition with. Lexington plays Oakland, who's eliminated. Orange County plays Indy 11, so an out-of-conference game. Colorado plays Tulsa, who is already qualified, and Colorado, they are fighting for that playoff spot. And so they're going to be going hard, but against the best team in the West. And then San Antonio plays El Paso, so looking to try to leapfrog Phoenix, but they still can't catch El Paso, right? And so there's a really interesting scenario where, I mean, those teams that are playing other Western Conference teams that are in competition for Phoenix all lose, or they're playing against teams they should win, but because those teams don't have as much to play for, they win, and that makes a difference. And so it'll be interesting to see how Phoenix approaches this game with the knowledge that they're not going to know any of that. And so they've got to come out and do what they've got to do, and hoping results go their way if they don't get the result they want.
Yeah, in theory, this game means more to Phoenix than it does to the Hounds. It means a lot to Hounds, but it means more to Phoenix. So yeah, it's not going to be easy.
I think what'll be really interesting is I could see Phoenix coming out and trying to take it to the Hounds right away. And so if the Hounds can sort of weather that storm and keep the fans behind them, then you could see that momentum slowly build and just everything kind of ratchet up a notch. And if the Hounds score first, I feel pretty good about that. That being at Highmark, it's going to be a packed house. Jeff is going to be doing everything to get one more home game at least at Highmark. So
Jeff will be sitting there casting magic at the field. Give me a home game. Incantations.
So let's do this, guys. Give me a score prediction for Saturday. Josh. What do you think it'll be?
2-0 Hounds. I think it's going to be actually. Would 3 be too much? No, I'll just go with 2.
Hey, listen, if we finish this game 3-0 after we just had our first game with 3 goals, I'm going to feel really good going into the playoffs. Like something's happening. That
October 5th, 2024 was our last time we scored more than 3 goals. And that was against Miami. We
over a year.
4. Over a year.
Yeah. I like the 2-0 is going to be a nervy game. I would love for it to be 3-0. I'll say 2-0. I like 2-0. Steve,
I think it's a 2-1 game. Hounds.
Do Phoenix score first, or like in the 80th minute and make us all worry?
No. The Hounds get the lead goal. Phoenix pulls one back, and an unlikely goal scorer, someone like Perrin Barnes or Vactor or somebody like that, or Brigham Larson comes in. And
Dick.
Brigham Larson comes in and scores the game winner, something like that. And I don't say that because of anything other than I think back to some of my favorite Hounds moments, and it's those moments where like the person that did nothing for a lot of the season offensively does something spectacular, and it lives in my mind. The legend, Mark Forrest. Right? Like I want a moment like that. That's all I want.
We're all thinking of Forrest.
I'm thinking of my word. Oh man!
So come on, Larson, get that goal.
I totally forgot. I got Kevin a Mark Forrest jersey for Christmas a few years ago. Yeah, just because. Yeah. Oh,
epic.
Yeah. Well, that is what we think.
97 minutes and scored in his
Yeah.
91st minute.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that is what we think. Let us know what you think. Guys, anything else you want to add to this one?
This is wild, fun, wild and fun.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to Saturday, and having a great time, and hopefully a win and home playoff games.
Yeah. I have so many feelings right now. And it's just, so many questions, but I'm going to save them because we got to kind of see how this shakes out before we get there. But, yeah, really, really interesting stuff. Fun time to be a Hounds fan again, which is great after the season we've had. So
seasons.
Yeah. All right, everybody. You guys know how to get at us. Blue Sky, YouTube, all the things. We really appreciate the thoughts, the comments, the feedback. Hopefully we can get to a point where we can be talking to players and coaches and all of that again. But in the meantime, we appreciate the support, and we will be back with more Hounds content for you very, very soon.
Later.
See ya.